Hi guys, welcome to TeaFairy Storytime. Today we have two books by two different authors. Sometimes I like to read two books by one author. Today we are reading two books by two authors. The first book, the author sent me, her name is Samm Delorey, and she sent me an English copy and a Spanish copy. And it's called The Yell of Teddie Drake. And one of my fairy friends is going to come in and share this book with us. The other book that we're reading is I Can Do Stories, book number 1 by author Sally Tears, illustrated by Jean Garside. And I guess I should have mentioned the illustrator for the first book, but maybe my reader friend will do that. My fairy friend. Now, before we get started on the story times, I thought it would be fun to share some of my show and tell items. I'm going to share one and my friend will share the other. So these are wooden eggs that are painted in the Ukraine. Do you see them? Got pretty patterns on them. This one's got cute pink flowers. This one looks like it's got like a tic-tac-toe on it, kind of. With red and green and yellow. And see, you can see the wood exposed right there, the paint chipped off a little bit. So there's a little bit of wood exposed. That's how I knew exactly what they were made of. I think that the classic way of doing these eggs is that you take an actual egg and you tap a hole in the top and a hole in the bottom, and then you blow all of the egg stuff that's inside of it out of the egg, and then you paint the empty shell. But that's a very delicate thing. And I just thought that this little set with the little wooden plate was super cute. Today we're going to start with I Can Do Stories, book number 1, written by Sally Tears and illustrated by Jean Garside. Are you ready? I am. All right, and me. I Can Do Stories, book 1, which means there's more books after this. It's a series. Sammy the Scared Seagull. There he is. Today is all about the birds. Ducks and seagulls. All right, are you ready? I'm going to do this. It was so cozy and warm inside Sammy's egg, but he knew that today he would have to start pecking so that he could get out into the big wide world. He had heard his brother and sister pecking their way out all morning and knew it was time for him to do the same. Gosh, where am I? He said when he'd pecked his final peck. You're here in the nest with your brothers and sisters, said his mum gently. Welcome to the world. Sammy didn't know if he liked this new world. It seemed rather cold and windy, not at all like his safe and warm world inside his egg. Now, said his mum, I want you all to stay very still and wait for your dad to return with some food. I'm going to go and help him get enough for us all. Off she flew and left Sammy with his brothers and sisters. There was a lot of pushing and shoving in the nest, and all at once, Sammy had been pushed right to the very edge. I wonder what I can see over the edge, he thought. He peered out. Oh dear, I'm so high up. I'll never be able to get down there. It's so far away. I hope I can stay here forever. And there's Sammy and all his brothers and sisters and his mommy and daddy. Aren't they cute? I love seagulls. Do you guys have a favorite bird? Ooh, I like those too. When his parents came home later with the food, Sammy told them how frightened he had been when he had looked over the edge. "Don't worry, sweetheart," said his mom. "When you grow up, your dad and I will teach you how to fly. It's really easy, and then you'll be able to fly down to the sea with everyone else." Sammy spent most of the time as he was growing up in the center of the nest. He didn't like it at all when his brothers and sisters pushed him near to the edge. It made him feel all wobbly and dizzy when he looked down. One day, his dad returned to the nest and told everyone to practice flapping their wings. Can you guys flap your wings? Ready? Good job. "Why?" they asked eagerly. "Because it's nearly time to start your flying lessons," he smiled. "And we need your wings to be really strong." Flap your wings. You guys flapping? All right. For the next few days, everyone flapped and stretched their wings. Everyone except Sammy, that is. The constant rocking movement made Sammy feel quite ill, so he lay quietly in the middle of the nest and hoped that no one would notice him. The great day arrived. "Okay, everyone," said Sammy's dad. "All make your way to the edge of the nest and hold tightly with your feet." There was so much pushing and shoving that no one noticed that Sammy was still in the middle of the nest. 4 hours they practiced flapping their wings on the edge of the nest until their dad decided that it was time to fly. Have you guys ever flown? No? You must not be birds or fairies. Oh, you have? Good job. One by one, each of his brothers and sisters wobbled and swayed until one of them finally let go. He flapped his wings furiously and shouted, "Hey, look at me, I can fly!" One by one, everyone took the plunge and started to fly. How excited they all were, all of them but Sammy. He lay quietly, hoping that no one would notice that he was still in the nest. "Hello, Sammy, what are you still doing here?" said his dad. "Why aren't you out there flying with your brothers and sisters?" "I'm too scared to go to the edge of the nest. It makes me feel wobbly and dizzy." Well, 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 said his dad. "I've never known a seagull to be scared of heights before. I'm not quite sure what to do about this. Don't worry, just wait there and I'll have a word with your mom and see what we can do to make you feel better." After a while, his dad came back smiling. "Okay, Sammy, what I want you to do is jump on my back and hold tightly, and Mom and I are going to take you down to the ground." "I don't think I can do that. I'll still feel all wobbly and dizzy when I look down," he whispered. "Just hide your face in my feathers and you will be okay." Off they set, Sammy snuggled into his dad and his mom flying behind to watch over him. Before they knew it, they had landed on the ground. "Off you get, Sammy," said his dad, and Sammy slid very slowly onto the sand. He looked up to where the nest was and said, "I'll never get back up there." His dad laughed. "Not today, Sammy, but one day you will." "Now what I want you to do is stand on the ground and flap your wings." Sammy stood for the first time actually flapping his wings. What fun it was! His wings made a funny fluttering noise that made him laugh. He practiced for ages. "That's enough for today, Sammy," said his dad. "Now hop on my back and we will all go back home." Sammy slept really well that night and couldn't wait for tomorrow so that he could practice again. Every day his parents took him down to the floor and he practiced flapping his wings. After a few days, his dad put him on a pebble to practice on the beach, and the next day a small rock. Each day his dad would put him on a larger and larger rock and say, "Flap your wings and jump, Sammy." Oh, look at that illustration. "I can nearly fly, I can nearly fly," he said one day when he had jumped from a really large rock. The next day, Sammy hopped on his dad's back, as usual, to go to the ground. But guess what happened? Sammy didn't hide his head under his dad's wings. Instead, he looked up and around and down, and guess what? He didn't feel all wobbly and dizzy. He felt wonderful. And guess what? The next day, he could fly. So there's Sammy on his dad's back, and look how happy he looks. Doesn't he look super happy? And his brothers and sisters are all flying, and his daddy's flying. And that is the end of that story. There are more stories in this lovely book, and each book has several stories in it. I love the size of the words. I think that they're great. It says engaging and positive stories for 3 to 7 years old. Read how Sammy the Seagull overcomes his fear of heights and flying, how the little wave learned to do new tricks, and how Ollie helped James with his B's and D's. This is a great book for young kids, and I would highly suggest getting a copy of it. In fact, getting a whole copy of the whole series. Thank you, Sally, for sending in the book. Much appreciated. All right, I think we have some footage of ducks. Are you guys ready? Do you like ducks? I love ducks. And I think, hopefully, maybe we'll find some pictures and some video of baby ducks. That's what we're going to try. Are you ready? Here we go. It's duck time. This is our friend Gretchen. She is a duck. She's a female mallard duck. She lives at Buddiatic Lake. Isn't she beautiful? Ducks eat grains, grasses, aquatic plants, invertebrates, and insects. Things you can feed ducks include corn, oats, birdseed, cooked rice, lettuce, watermelon, and peas, blueberries, cucumbers, strawberries, spinach, and nuts. Ducks require protein, just like us. Peanuts are an excellent source of protein. Peanuts also contain potassium, which is also important. But they are also high in fat and carbohydrates. Too many peanuts aren't good for ducks. Just a few will do. Do not feed peanut shells. Peanuts need to be roasted and unsalted. It's also important to break the peanuts into small pieces. She does love peanut pieces. Other foods not to feed ducks: no bread, popcorn, no chips or cereal. Ducks can't digest these foods. They can get very sick from them. We love ducks. We want to protect them. It's so much fun visiting Gretchen. Time to clean the feathers. This is called preening. This is how ducks groom themselves. It's like combing your hair. Isn't it neat how she turns her head? Doesn't she look pretty? It looks like it's time to go. See you later, Gretchen. Bye-bye, duck. Bye-bye, humans. Quack, quack. The end. It's time for sign language with Miss Kristie.
Hi, my name is Miss Kristie, and today I'm going to teach you some words about a garden. Now, why would that be the word for garden? Because different things grow in the garden, just like behind me. Wait a minute, that means you must know the sign for grow. You're right. Grow and garden. You know 2 words, we haven't even gotten started yet. So today I thought you and me, we could make our garden together. First, we need some dirt. So take that dirt and feel it in your fingers, and then turn your hands upside down and draw that plot where you're going to be planting those flowers. And where these will be flowers, seeds. Flowers is where you smell the flowers. And then just swirl your little finger like little tiny seeds. Then I want you to dig kind of a hole in the ground or a little bit of a channel and take your seeds and plant them. This is a sign for plant. Plant them along that channel and then cover them up again. Okay. Now, what do we need? What does every plant need? Rain. It rains hard. It doesn't snow softly like snow. It rains down like rain. And then you want to plant with paint. sun in the sky and shoot that sunshine down on your face and on those beautiful flowers. Meanwhile, down below, that seed is under the ground and it's tasting the water from the rain, and it really wants to reach the sun. So it spreads its roots into the ground so that it has a place to secure itself. And then pretty soon a shoot pops up out of the ground, a little shoot. And then a stem grows, and then we have leaves, and then we have a beautiful flower that blooms. Now, how can we remember the sign for flower blooms? Flower, we smell your flower, and you put your hands like this, turn it so you're looking at the back of your hand, and then as you open up your hand, swirl it like this. Blooms. So we have just bloomed a bunch of beautiful flowers. And by the way, there's a little caterpillar sitting on one of the leaves. Little caterpillar. He is going to eventually one day turn into a beautiful butterfly. Caterpillar, butterfly. Boy, hope you had fun today, boys and girls. I did. See if you can remember some of those signs. You can come back and watch this a little later. Have a great day. Oh, one more thing. I think I also want to pick a bouquet. I forgot to pick a bouquet. Pick that bouquet of flowers and let's put a bow on it. Tie your bow and go plop. You got it. Bye. Hi, boys and girls. I think we should practice some of those words that I taught you today. I'm going to sing you a song, and I want you to listen very carefully and see how many words you recognize, and maybe you can sign with me. You ready? Okay. Here, look in the garden. Seeds were planted by the fairies. Rain fell and the sun came out. Shoots, they popped up from the soil. Stems grow and the leaves are green. Flowers beautiful are growing. Caterpillar climbs and he lifts his head. Tulip opens to the sun. Butterflies, they flit around. Their wings, there's not a sound. Fairies dancing to and fro, spreading love in their garden. Good job. How many words did you see that you remembered? You keep working, maybe you can practice doing some of that at home. Meanwhile, the next time you pick a flower, always notice how special and how different it is, because that is you. There is no one in the world like you, and that makes you very special. Always remember that.
Hi, I'm the Spring Fairy, and I'm here with TeaFairy today to talk about birds. I have some little bird friends here. This little one is so cute. It looks like a real sparrow, or those little finch birds that you might see them around the buildings or outside. And this one is special to me. This is Woodstock, and he's from a show called Peanuts, or a cartoon strip rather, called Peanuts. You may have heard of Charlie Brown. This is one of his friends, and it's fun because this one's really cartoony, and this one's more realistic. And birds come in so many different shapes and sizes. You can have a teeny tiny little bird like this, all the way up to an ostrich. Have you ever seen an ostrich? They're pretty interesting looking. These feathers here, these kind of look like they could be from a flamingo. They're nice and pink and fluffy and fun. I really like them. And I have a story that I'm going to read for you today. we're going to read the Yell of Teddie Drake. And it's written by Samm Delorey and illustrated by Vivian Franklin. And I really like the illustrations, very moody and kind of dark. Do you have dark feelings sometimes? Me too. Oh, and this was signed by the author. All right, and it says, "For my swans and the community that helps them thrive. For the children with families who live near or far or in different nests. The Yell of Teddie Drake. I started my day with the tiniest yell. I felt it down deep so nobody could tell. This secret inside me did not feel quite right. I wanted to run and I wanted to fight. I woke knowing today was going to be a day that I visit my mommy and daddy. If my yell kept growing, I was going to scream. I didn't want them knowing that I was mean. I know that I love them, but sometimes I feel torn, hurt, and frustrated. Thoughts I try to conceal. Having these thoughts makes my yell grow much bigger. Keeping these thoughts sets my belly a quiver. I wish we could play to get rid of my yell. I wish that I just had someone to tell. I have friends with 2 mommies and friends with 1 dad, but I've never known any swan that has had 2 mommies, 2 daddies, and siblings galore who build their nests upon 4 different shores. I have sisters and brothers who live with geese, and some of my siblings with Grammy Patrice. Living on different shores makes me wonder when I will see all my sisters and brothers. Wondering this wonder can make my yell grow. It's stressful not knowing what I want to know. I don't want to upset the swans or the drakes, but my yell grows inside me as soon as I wake. Mama Drake tells me I'm loved and accepted. Does loving them all make some feel rejected? At my visit today, my yell just exploded. My parents were shocked by what I emoted. I thought they'd be mad or just tell me to hush. I worried they'd yell or just leave in a rush. Instead, they grew quiet and drew me in near. They whispered they loved me, told me not to fear. They are happy. I do love my home with the Drakes. They told me their love carries far across lakes. They even feel love for my family of ducks. Finding their nest was marvelously good luck. The swans wished they could raise me, but they also know the Drakes love and care, and they help me to grow. My mommy told me that I should take some time. I can blow some bubbles or think of a rhyme. The next time that I feel my yell start to grow, it helps to tell someone so not just I know. My mommy and mama and daddy and dad may also feel yells when they're nervous or sad. Having a yell caused by lots of dismay, sometimes it gets out, but it'll be okay. My parents love me through all my frustrations. They know that sometimes I'm in hard situations. Some have called me ugly duck, a foul misfit. But it's more than just looks that make families legit. My siblings tell me that I should take some pride. Our family is never a reason to hide. We all love each other, though from different nests. Loving each other is what family does best. that's the end of the story. Lovebound Press is dedicated to increasing and improving representation of children in foster, adoptive, and blended families. To learn more about the mission, visit loveboundpress.org. That was a really nice story. Do you know someone who's adopted or in foster care? I was adopted, and this book really is special to me. Thank you for sharing that book with me today. Bye now.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed our stories about ducks and seagulls and the Ukrainian eggs and the birds and all the information. And I hope that you guys will do some research on birds yourself. I hope that you guys are able to look online and find birds that you like. Maybe paint a picture of a bird or draw a picture of a bird, or make a painting or a picture out of feathers even. That's kind of a fun thing to do, like just glue feathers on a piece of paper. I like doing that. All right, I think that's it. I hope you guys had a good time. See you next week.